Hi everyone. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a topic that was suggested by one of my subscribers, Sri. Sri, I hope you don't mind that I took your name here. But Sri wanted me to comment on officers who are due for their command and what they should be focusing on. Now, of course, he has acknowledged that it's a vast topic, and what I could understand that he probably doesn't want me to focus on what is the role of a master, what he should be doing, but he wants to focus more about, or he has probably asked me to talk about what are the key areas that a chief officer due for his command should be focusing on, how to prepare themselves, whether it's to just throw yourself into the job and learn with experience, or there are some things that you can prepare for. So I believe that you guys are sailing on all kinds of vessels, different ships, different companies. You all have different backgrounds. So I can't talk about a particular industry here. So what I'll do is I'll talk about my own experience and the mistakes I made, or the good things I did, and you can learn from my experience here. And I hope that you can relate to it. Maybe you are doing some of these things already, but let me just highlight five top things or five tips that I will give you if you are due for command and you are trying to prepare for the future role. All right, so my first tip here, of course, goes without saying that there is a you have to shadow the master all the time. You have to put yourself in his or her shoes and make sure that you can shadow the master as much as possible. Now, of course, you must be already doing that, but sometimes it's easy for you to find a mentor. Sometimes the company lets the master know that you are due for command, and they will ask the master to groom you or mentor you. Sometimes it's challenging to find a mentor. Sometimes the masters don't have the time, or they don't have the interest, or sometimes they are not the kind of people who want to mentor you. So it's sometimes it can be challenging. I had both kind of masters. I had a master who was grooming me even when I was a new chief officer, and then I had a master who did not show much interest even when I was senior chief officer. So, in my opinion, you have to take the initiative here, and you have to make sure that you start shadowing the master as much as possible. Ask questions. Don't hesitate to ask questions. Get as much information as possible. But the key thing here is don't restrict yourself to only the master you're sailing with. If you have the opportunity, talk to other masters, go and on other ships, talk to them, especially the ones who are in your company, the ones who are sailing on your type of vessels. Talk to them, talk to as many people as possible, talk to as many masters as possible. Try to get tips from them, experience from them. Something that you are doing with me right now, you are getting some experience from me or some tips, but I'm just one person. I can only tell you about my experience. But the more you shadow other masters, ask them about the challenges they face, that will be a good idea. Also, make sure that you're maintaining a notebook, or you're maintaining a document or a file on the computer. I mean, those days I had a notebook I was maintaining, where I used to write down everything that I used to see masters going through, the challenges they face, the problems they have, and how they are dealing with those issues. So I used to do that as well. I used to have my own notebook even when taking over and handing over. I used to be with the master sometimes, and that is a good thing for you to do anyway. Even if you're not due for command, as a chief officer, you must try to be present when a master is handing over, taking over, as much as possible, so that you can get to learn from them. Also, it helps you to provide your own input, and the master who's joining in, also gets to know you and talk to you, and that relationship develops. So that is my first tip, that make sure that you find yourself a mentor. If the other person is not the kind of person who likes to be training you, then get as much as you can from that person, but then talk to other people as well. All right. The second tip I would like to give you is make sure you start developing relationships and networks. When I say relationships and networks, I mean not only with your officers and crew and your masters, but try to get to know your agents. There could be manning agents, there could be local port agents, there could be other masters. Make sure you start developing a network, and that is the reason I started my channel as well. I wanted to develop a network of mariners where we can learn from each other, where we can talk to each other, and that is why I'll have my live chat as well, where you can talk to me, you can ask me questions. Make sure you talk to your batchmates, maybe people who have got your promotions before you, or maybe who are due for command. How are they going about it? But try to develop relationships and networks, because this was one thing that was lacking with me. I was very shy, and I used to hesitate to go up to people, talk to them, ask them about things, or sometimes I would just assume that people who are like agents and all, they won't know about a master's role. So why bother them? Why should I ask them questions? Or if I go and ask them, what will other people think? I used to think about all these things. But no, my advice to you would be, even if you're an introvert, even if you're a shy person, you can just go up to one person, talk to them one at a time. Maybe find a time which is suitable for you, talk to the agents who come on board, ask them about experiences that they have, and they'll have a lot to teach us as well. So my tip here is try to develop relationships as much as possible with anyone that you find even remotely related to your profession. Everybody has something to teach you, and you can get very important tips from there. All right, so everybody has their own experiences, people who have been in the maritime industry, so develop that. My third tip will be to start working on the soft skills that you lack. So when I say soft skills, I mean skills other than what you require on the ship. So of course you need to know about navigation, you need to know about bridge equipment, ship handling, anchoring the vessels, budgeting issues, certification, renewal of certificates. All that is master's role. But what people often lack, and I lacked in some of that as well, especially people management. We underestimate that skill, and that is why even STCW has recognized that skill, and they want to develop that leadership and team working skills. Now, of course, you have been working on the ship for a long time, and you have been managing people at your own particular rank. But when you become a master, you don't have really somebody to look up to when you're on the ship. You are pretty much responsible for everything. Everybody's looking up to you now for answers. So you have to start working on those skills, managing people, managing issues. That used to take up most of my time. Every day something would happen. Every day somebody would come up with some issues, some complaint. Somebody's not happy with food. Somebody's not happy with resources. Somebody's not happy with how the superintendent is treating them, or how people are treating each other. Cultural issues, communication issues. So start working on those skills. Try to get those skills. Now, if you ask me how to get those skills, read books, read about management. So people don't read about those skills. So read how to manage people, read about leadership, read about communication, read about budget management. Broaden your horizon on these skills. So you already have your competency skills, you already have what STCW wants you to have, but you should also work on these soft skills, conflict management, how to manage conflict between two people, how to act as a mediator, how to stay away from situations. You don't have to go and solve every situation that you face. You don't have to solve every problem on the ship. You have to prioritize. So these are some of the soft skills you should start working on. And again, you can observe people. You can talk to chief engineers. You can talk to second engineers. You can talk to other people as well. Don't stop learning. Never stop learning. Even when you become a master, don't stop learning. Keep working on these skills, because these skills come with practice. You may be a 60-year-old, but you may be lacking these skills. You'll be surprised to see, because people think they don't need these skills. But always work on these people management skills. If you can manage people, that is the only thing the company wants from you, apart from, of course, keeping the ship safe and everybody alive. But working with people, managing people, to make sure that things don't escalate and reach the office, and people from the office will say, "Master, what are you doing? Captain, what are you doing on the ship?" So make sure you work on those skills as well. And the fourth tip I will give you is learning about vessel handling. That is the most important thing. And when I say vessel handling, of course, it's easier said than done. It's not that easy to learn. It will come with experience. And Sri, I agree with you that most of these things you will learn with experience. So I am no expert, but vessel handling was something I struggled with for some time, because each vessel has their own handling characteristics, although they may be sister vessels, because the engine takes a toll on it, on the handling, the rudder, the maintenance, everything takes a toll on the handling characteristics. And again, then if you have bad weather and all that, so try to get yourself involved if possible during anchoring operations or during some of the mooring operations. Talk to your master, tell the master that you want to be on the bridge, and you can ask second officer and third officer to go for stations. And again, I'm talking about commercial vessels here. If you're on any other type of vessels, try to be with the master and get to know how your vessel behaves under different characteristics, under different weather conditions. What do you mean by a vessel's sluggish response? What do you mean by understanding the vessel's behavior? Can you get some practical experience? Can you get an experience with handling anchor hand? So the only experience I got, to be very honest, is how to drop an anchor. And I only got a couple of opportunities. I was not very good at those opportunities as well, so I had to learn with practice. I didn't get much practice there, but my advice to you would be, try to observe the vessel's behavior during anchoring operations and during maneuvering operations, when the speed slows down, or when there are heavy seas and swells or wind conditions. How is the master adjusting for it? Try to observe these, see for yourself visually, so that you get an idea. And the fifth tip and the last one is try to learn how to create a balance between commercial pressure and the safety. So, as a master, and you probably have experience as a chief officer, that there's a lot of pressure from the company. There's a lot of commercial pressure for us to try and do things which serve the company in terms of profits. Yet at the same time, they want you to keep the ship safe. So, as an example, I'll give you that I was often asked as a chief officer to load extra cargo. They would always say, if possible, but that pressure would be there that they want you to load that extra cargo. And sometimes I did. And then I remember my master told me that you should not be doing that. Even though the company is sending you cargo, you can say no to it. So, my key point here is learn to say no. As a master, company is very happy if you say, if you are a yes man, but if things go wrong, remember, you will be the first one to lose your job. So make sure you learn to say no. If the pilot is asking you to rush to the pilot station and you are in a narrow channel, you are now speeding up, you are not proceeding on a safe speed, you want to make the company happy, you don't want the pilot to get angry, but during the course of the vessel you have an accident or you hit somebody or something goes wrong, your neck will be the first one in line. So make sure you learn how to say no. Of course, as a master, you have to satisfy that commercial aspect. You have to try your best, and it will also come with experience. But learn to say no when it is required. So I'll summarize the 5 tips for you. First one is learn to shadow people who are senior to you. Shadow them not only in terms of what they are doing, or not only on your ship, but also on other ships. Talk to as many people as possible. Work on your relationships and networks. Make sure you develop a relationship networks. This was something I lacked in, but I'm working on it now. So talk to as many people as possible, learn from them, try to learn from them. The idea here is not for you to show off your knowledge, but to learn from others, what others are doing, what other people made mistakes, something that you've contacted me, I'm sure you do that. And the third tip is working on your soft skills like people management, communication, conflict management, cultural issues, being mindful of all that, budget management. Don't stop learning, broaden your horizon. The fourth tip is, of course, understanding your vessel's behavior, vessel handling. That is the most important tip. Learning to observe how a vessel behaves and what it means for you. And finally, learn to say no, create a balance between commercial pressure and safety. So I hope this video was useful for you guys. So even if you are not due for command now, you can watch this later when you are due for command, or this could be true for any rank. It doesn't matter what rank you are in, whether you are in the engine side, deck side, or any rank you are in. Well, these 5 tips will be very beneficial to you because it comes from my own experience, from mistakes that I made. So I'll see you guys soon with my next video. I'm trying to keep this short. All the best, and best of luck with your promotions and your future endeavors.